Hi everybody, welcome to another tutorial on Bleass Groovebox. In this video I'd like to go through a little bit more on the monosynth and then use the opportunity to create a simple set of loops and show you how you can use the recording mode to record your performance and then export it as a waveform. So first of all, let's go inside the monosynth. So let's click on a loop to activate the plane of that loop. Let's click on a hold and select edit. As you can see, this view is very familiar, very similar to the view that you have seen on the chords, with the difference that instead of having chords here and having the further selection underneath for the chords, you are actually selecting notes. So in the example, this will be a note where you have the selection on the note, which you can go up and down chromatically, and then the octave. If I go back, I compare that to the chord views that we have seen before. You can see it's very similar, with the difference that of course you are selecting chords, and therefore when you click on one, you have the selection of also the type of chord, like in this case major, minor, etc. Going back to the monosynth, you can see that it is very similar as a view, the same type of options to increase the bars, the grid, the speed. You can go to the pad section to play your instrument by pad. You can select your octave, the quantization. You can call up the keys as well to play in a keyboard fashion. You can set the scales, which is always handy. For example, you can say I select the C minor, and it will change that on the pad. So if you select C minor, very cool. And then you can also edit the synth, as we have seen in the chord example. The view is practically the same, with some minor differences. You have a glide option here, but the rest is practically the same. As you can see, the pitch for both oscillator, detuning, noise level, the oscillator mix, a glide option here, and the filters exactly the same or similar to the chord view, your LFOs, your ADSR for your attack, decay, sustaining, release, and then you have also your portamento, envelope, attack, decay, and depth, and you have your drive and your send for effect 1 and an effect 2. So very straightforward, and on the top, as you know, the different type of waveform that you can use for your oscillators. So very much similar to the view that we had for the chords. If I go back to the chord and edit, and then if I go to the pads, you can see here I don't have the scale. Sorry, I don't have the keys option. I just have the edit synth. I still have the scale. Okay, where you can select the scales over there, and then of course I can edit the synth, and it works slightly different here because you have octave instead of pitch, and you have a strumming time here instead. On the monosynth you have a glide option, but the rest is pretty much similar. The filters we have seen before, the LFOs, the ADSR, and the drive. So when you compare that to the view that we have under the monosynth, you can see is very close. Pad, again, you have pad mode and keyboards, as I just went through the scale and added the synth. So hopefully this is self-explanatory. If you have seen the previous video, you will be able to actually go through very easily understand how to use the monosynth as well. So what I wanted to do now is to create a bit of a performance and show you how you can record it. So let's go to load and save. Let's click on the new project and let's click on OK when it asks us to proceed, if we're sure to proceed. So let's activate that loop. It's already active for playing. Click and hold. And let's click on edit and let's create a bit of a pattern. Kick drum, some snare. Some hi-hats, something like that, yeah, and then like this. Okay, let's try. Sounds good. So let's go back. Let's activate the chord and clicking on it, and also click and hold and select edit. So let's insert some chord and let's use C minor. Okay, we change that. Let's create a bit of a rhythm. C minor, change the length to 2 for this one, and the same for that one. Okay, let's play. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to the monosynth. Click to select it, and for playing, click and hold, select edit, and let's create a bit of a pattern for a bass. Something like that. Okay, perfect. Now let's activate the monosynth. Similar way, click and hold, select edit, and this time instead of recording a melody through the different steps, I'm going to click pad, I'm going to click on scale, select C minor, click OK, and then actually I'm going to go back and select 4 bars like so. You can see at the top 4 bars. Going back to the pads, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click arm for recording, so it's a different shade of red here. I'm going to click play and then use my fingers to touch the screen and create a bit of a melody. I stop there and I disable the recording, the arm for recording. Then I click on edit synth. I go for the sound effect 1 and I'm going to increase that so that I have some reverb, and I do the same for sound effect 2 so that I have some delay. And let's try. Okay, now I'm going to disable each one so that they are not enabled for playing. I'm going to configuration now, and I'm going to change the recorder mode from off to on, and I click back. When I've done that, you can see that the symbol here has changed from play to record. So now I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to bring in different tracks, selecting on them, and when I finish I will click again on the record button. So let's try. Okay, when you click again on the record button, and Groovebox asks you if you want to keep the recording. You can click on keep, and at that point it asks you to type a name. So let's type test rec for recording, and click OK. And at this point it will allow you to save it somewhere in a location on your device. I will select save to files, and I will select a location inside my iPad, inside my Sound for More folder, and I will click on save. Now if I exit from here and I go to my view folders, and I'm inside the Sound for More folder, I see a file called test rec, which is the one which I just created. It is 5.3 megabyte. I click on it, and you can see it shows that it is a playable waveform. So let's click on it and listen. Okay, as you can see, it is very straightforward to create a pattern inside Groovebox and also record it. Of course, if you want to go back to the play mode and disable the recorder, so you click on config, and again under where it says record mode on, you just click on the arrow to set it to off and click back, and you can see the symbol as return to your play mode. Don't forget to save the project if you want to keep it, and going into load and save, click on save as and give it a name, like in this case, for example, test PRG for project, and clicking OK. And after that, if you go back to load and save, you can see that that project has been created and it's called test PRG. Okay, I hope you found this useful, and see you next time. Bye.